The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency continues to intensify its onslaught against the use and sale of illicit drugs in the country. The agency says it made seizures of 24.311 kg of various substances, including heroin, cocaine, codeine, marijuana, and others from 9 states. This is just one of many seizures the anti-drug agency has concluded in recent times from coordinated raids across states. Many suspected drug dealers have also been arrested. Now, joining me to discuss Nigeria's drug menace and other related issues is Chris Ibe, Executive Director and Founder, African Youth Initiative on Crime. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, despite existing laws, policies, efforts, recent reports say 14.3 million Nigerians still abuse drugs and substances. And I'm wondering, what is it we're not doing right that is not giving us the desired results?
Well, there are many factors associated with this particular situation.
Right.
Yeah, and I just thank God that the likes of the recent chairman, Marwa, came on board, you know, because the areas of enforcement is beginning to take shape.
Okay.
Yeah, while prevention too is coming on board, because the issue of prevention has not been taken very, very serious. Enforcement, which has to do with the reduction in demand, demand and supply, is another challenge. You know, prior to now, you can see that so many dealers, they move around, you know, up until we are seeing these things now because we have somebody who is working.
Right.
So prior to this time, you see that drugs has gone into the society unabated. Nobody is challenging in the area of manpower development for NDLEA, in the area of motivation for NDLEA staff, and the communities themselves. You know, so we are seeing these things now because the likes of Marwa is in town, who has now devised so many approaches in handling this. You know, so many approaches like that is community partnership. You can see that most of the seizures that has been done is as a result of partnering with different, you see the custom, you see civil defense, you see different aspects. But the major thing is we've not been proactive.
Right.
As a nation. Prior to now, we've not been proactive. Enforcement has been on a very zero level. Prevention has been on a very zero level. And even talk about the staff themselves. You cannot compare NDLEA staff with those who are peddling, who are moving this.
Yeah.
Abroad, they are well paid, they are well motivated. You know, so now we can see these things. We are appreciating it because we have a motivated, highly motivated narcotic agents who are now going all out with synergy, you know, within the system. So these are some of the factors associated with.
So in the days to come, when we are looking at the figures, that should reduce.
Definitely.
All of these activities should reduce the numbers.
These things were all piled up. They were all piled up. You know, Marwa is barely, it's not up to a year.
Right.
Yes. So you see, most of these businesses has been initiated because it's a chain business. It's organized crime. It doesn't just, it's not like you want to eat amala, you go to Yabo place and get amala, stuff like that. So these things are plans and it take months, you know. So going forward, we expect that the issues related to drug and substance abuse, illicit trafficking will definitely reduce. But unfortunately,
okay, finish, then I'll ask my
yes, some of the challenges too we are also having is when some executives, some states, some governors are also interested in legalizing these stuffs.
Right.
It's also a very big challenge.
How so?
It's challenge because these are policy. They are at the strategic level of the fight. Because when a governor starts thinking about legalizing cannabis, what becomes of the national fight? Because we are aware that Nigeria, at the August, Nigeria is still saying no to cannabis. Then you have a state executive, you know, thinking on how to legalize this. You see that there will be a kind of a loophole in the whole build-up towards the fight against drug and substance abuse. But we expect, with the type of person at the helms of affair now, with Marwa there, with highly motivated personnel, working in partnership with civil societies and other government agencies, definitely there must be a reduction. Sensitization now is very, very high. And I see that is why we are seeing all this.
Right. Now, for the aspect of legalizing, the governor is looking in the direction of the health benefits. And that is why some persons are also, working in collaboration with him to ensure that they see to the legalizing of cannabis, and ensure, they are saying perhaps in that direction, we'll also see some reduction when we put structures in place to regulate its growth, those who want to cultivate it, and the process, the chain of buying. They are dealing with pharmaceutical companies. Those are the things, because I had a stakeholder who came here to talk to us about it, that this is what they are looking at.
What are they looking at?
The health aspect, like
health aspect.
The health benefits.
Let me. There are steps. Even when you talk about developed nations, who by way of mistakes, because the likes of states like Colorado, they've come to realize that they made huge mistake. Really? Yes, in legalizing drugs, based on the fact that crime goes up, accident goes up. There is no reduction. When you talk about Ondo State, I don't think Ondo State is one of the biggest states in Nigeria when you talk about economy. Right. Check the number, check the unemployment rate there. How do we check that? For me, I think the governor, by way of patriotism, should look at how to engage young people. Because there is no regulation. There is no way you can regulate how many young people that takes these drugs every blessed day. The only way you see it is the numbers that goes into the rehabilitation home. For those with parents that has money, rich parents, outside that you see them on the street. He can actually work on different, there are rocks there. You should go and create a crush rock, come up with industries, engage these young people. Research shows that when an average Nigerian is not prone to, especially Nigerian youth, most of them are not interested in doing these stuffs. It's because of idleness, lack of meaningful engagement. Because you are a young person, definitely, I know, you are working on this particular, on this set now. The chances of you taking these things is very, very slim. Very, very slim, because of the level of engagement, the number of hours you stay here and stuff like that. So let reverse be the case, that you aren't doing anything now. You are just there on your own corner, hoping where there is no hope. Definitely you have to lean on a particular thing, trying to, like they will say, when they find succor in something. Yes, succor in something, especially when these unknown brothers from the street, when they come, they appear as if they want to assist you. Say, there's love in sharing and stuff like that. What are they sharing? Madness. So the governor, if they are talking about legalization, there are certain things they should do. Their facilities. I've been to states in the US. We've gone to so many places where you have facilities where young people who ran into problem as a result of all this are taken care of. And those states too, they lay claims to medical benefits of marijuana before they went into that. But at the end of the day, they saw that it never gave them what they bargained for.
Right.
So there are steps, there are certain things the governor, if he wants to increase his
internally generated revenue,
there are other aspects. Nigeria is blessed. Ekiti State is blessed. I mean,
Ondo
State is blessed. There are other, not only Ekiti State. We also have production states like Ekiti. We also have like Edo states. You know, these states are predominantly production states when it comes to these marijuana. So I don't think
legalizing it is the way to go.
At all.
Now, let's look at, you talked about prevention. If we are saying prevention, what are we looking at in this aspect?
Yeah, prevention first is you have to do sensitization. You have to bring the information to these young people or potential takers.
Right.
Yes, because it's through the information. Because most of them, they think it's a way of life. They just dabble into these things. Some of them, once they will take it once, it knocks them off.
Yeah, we've seen videos.
Yes, just once. You will see, especially all these new drugs in town. The likes of Loud, the Talk Colorado, or most of all the, once they test, you see some of them will be confessing, yummy, or you know, something like that.
Falling into the gutter.
Yes,
so many things
with
happening.
Too much
energy.
So if you bring this information to them, like we do as prevention practitioners, say, look, don't think this is doing you good. By the time you bring the information, what that information does is to thwart, because most of them, they've already made up their minds.
Yes, curiosity.
They've made up their minds. Remember, they are curious. They have the energy and ability.
Yeah.
The only thing they don't have is the opportunity. And immediately the opportunity raises its head, they grab it. You see somebody goes mad. So when you bring this information to them, you educate them. After educating them, another aspect of it is engagement. It's engagement. You train them, you empower them, life skills to resist this. For those who are at the level of maybe sustaining themselves, you make available, you provide for them, you make them work. If for those that didn't go to school, there are skills they can acquire. So if government, well-meaning Nigerians, the society, civil society, start doing this, you see, you reduce the numbers. And the fact remains that when they get this information, they are engaged meaningfully. You see that it drops. The
number reduces drastically.
Drastically. Because it's not enough to talk to the young person, a hungry person.
Youth.
Yes, because most of these peddlers, promoters, they have a whole lot of antics. They have a whole lot of strategies to get these young people. They know they are hungry.
Of course.
They know they want to be like their friends. They want to measure up. Most of the men are not married. They are frustrated. They want to get married. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
So they really want to fit. They want to take responsibilities. So when these things are not coming, and you see somebody out there who dangles all these fantasies on you might want to take a try. But then with the right information, because when you go to, there are some videos we normally have where these stuffs got ruptured in their belly.
Right.
Got ruptured in their belly. on a visit to Indonesian embassy in Abuja. We're on a visit, and the Indonesian ambassador was showing us videos. A young Nigerian who jumped from 19th floor. Who the drug he had inside of him got ruptured. He could not
hold himself,
excrete the drugs. He used razor blade to tear his stomach. He jumped out from the 19th floor and landed on, and that was how he died. The fact remains that nobody brings this story to them. Nobody tells them that, look, this journey might be a journey of no return. Nobody. So what they just do is to tell them how beautiful,
make money.
By the time you go there, you just make 40,000 Ds, USDs, 20,000 USDs. You come here, nobody tells them the other story. You saw a trending video where a young man was
right.
Information is very
vital.
Is key to this. This information is key, especially for those young youths who are so unfortunate to have fallen into single parenthood. Let me use that word. They call it broken home. So in most cases, you see them all alone in the house. There is no corresponding checks. Nobody monitors the kids. Before you know it, they build their mind. Remember, they are like erosion. If not channeled, they find
they flow with the water.
They flow, they find their level.
But obviously, what it is you're saying now is, despite this effort being made by the NDLEA, there has to be a balance when you look at creating employment.
Definitely.
And, ensuring that the environment is conducive for for businesses to thrive, because these are the issues. If there is no balance, then...
So many factors. It prevents when there is no corresponding follow-up, which has to do with more development, empowerment. They might relapse. They might go back to where they came from.
Right.
So while these seizures are being made, you try as much as possible not to let other young people go into. Because as far as we're concerned, the recruitment exercise continues.
Right.
As far as it's enticing, this is the first time we are seeing NDLEA making compensation for fallen heroes of NDLEA. So when this recruitment continues, NDLEA also has a responsibility with civil societies to make sure that we bring these things down. The relationship between the dealer and the
end
user is that young person. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is the channel. So if by way of sensitization, empowerment, meaningful engagement, cut off, pull out that young person, it becomes a very big issue for the dealer to deliver. It's like the terrorism that we are having now. If a young person is pulled out, you see that those who are sponsoring this terrorism
we find it difficult.
We find it difficult because they cannot bring their own kids. They find it extremely difficult to execute. They cannot execute. It's young people.
All right. Although we are on course, like you have pointed out, with the fight against drug abuse and substances and all of it, if we do not ensure the balance that we have spoken about, what are the implications?
Well, we'll still find ourselves in a saturated, drug-infested environment. That is just it. Because you can't keep on preventing, maybe at a particular level. Like I told you, prevention, we have stages.
Yes.
So if these processes are not completed, follow up, there will be an issue. And when reinforcement, that is when we have relapse, it's always a huge challenge to bring such people
out of it again.
So we must look at sustained prevention activities to make sure that they stay out and stay out permanently. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Permanently. There are aspects, there are different, the enforcement aspect is there. If including the health implication, the health aspect is also there. Because this, most of these guys now, when you come to the health aspect, we don't see them again as criminals. We don't see them as, we see them as victims.
Right.
So, yeah, so we also have to check. Medically, they also have to look at them. Because it's a psychological issue. When you have traded in this and moved, you have this mentality that maybe you've not broken even. Maybe it is your turn, it is your turn, it is your turn.
This might be the opportunity.
It might be the opportunity. So if there is no kind of a psychological activity that will retract such mentality, it also becomes a problem. There is also another aspect where the United Nations is taking, which has to do with the humanistic aspect of this approach. You know, beyond enforcement. Yeah. These guys that you have pulled out, what happens to them? So it has become a humanitarian issue. So this approach must be holistic. For us to beat our chest that, look, we have achieved this. It's good that we are making this effort. And it boils down on the collaborative effort of the present administration led by Buba Marwa. Unlike before, most of the chairmen that we normally have there, they see NDLEA as a retirement benefit. But we thank God for...
And we only hope that after his tenure, the next person that will take over from him will sustain
sustainability. That's exactly what we are talking about now.
All right. All right. We'll leave this conversation here now. Thank you so much, Chris Ibe, Executive Director and Founder, African Youth Initiative on Crime Prevention. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.